Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm genuinely so glad you're here today. If you've been anywhere near pop culture lately, there's one name that keeps popping up in conversations, playlists, and comment sections, and that name is Chappell Roan. She's not just another rising pop star, she feels like a full-on moment. So today, let's slow things down and really talk about who Chappell Roan is, why her rise feels so different, and why so many people feel seen, energized, and maybe even a little braver because of her music. Chappell Roan didn't come out of nowhere overnight, even though it might feel that way. She grew up in a small Midwestern town, far from the glossy music industry image most pop stars are associated with. That background matters, because her music often feels like it's speaking directly to people who grew up dreaming bigger than their surroundings. Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit where you came from, but you knew there was more waiting for you somewhere else? That tension between where you are and who you want to become is woven all through her story. Her sound blends pop, synth, and a touch of nostalgia, but what really hooks people is her honesty. Her songs don't feel polished to the point of being distant. They feel emotional, messy, dramatic, playful, and deeply human. When you listen, it's less like hearing a pop song and more like overhearing someone confess something they've been holding in for years. And that's powerful. Why do we connect so deeply to music that feels raw instead of perfect? Maybe because it gives us permission to be imperfect too. When Good Luck, Babe took off, it wasn't just because it was catchy, it was because it told a story so many people recognized. A story about longing, denial, heartbreak, and self-realization. It sparked conversations about love, identity, and the courage it takes to be honest with yourself. Think about that for a moment. How often does a pop song actually make you stop and reflect on your own life choices? One of the most fascinating things about Chappell Roan is how unapologetically she embraces theatricality. Her visuals, performances, and fashion choices are bold, colorful, sometimes campy, and completely intentional. In an industry that often pressures artists to fit into neat boxes, she does the opposite. She turns herself into art. It makes you wonder, when did self-expression become something people felt they had to tone down? And what would happen if more people leaned fully into who they really are? Her success hasn't just been about streams and charts. When she stepped onto major award stages, she used her voice to talk about real issues, artist burnout, mental health, and how hard it is to survive in the music industry before fame ever arrives. That moment mattered. It reminded people that behind every overnight success is years of struggle, rejection, and doubt. Have you ever looked at someone else's success and compared it to your own pace, without seeing the full story behind it? Another thing fans really admire is her willingness to take her time creatively. She's spoken openly about not rushing music just to meet expectations. In a world obsessed with constant output and instant gratification, that's almost rebellious. It raises an interesting question. Is moving slower sometimes the bravest thing you can do? Especially when everyone around you expects more, faster, louder? Chappell Roan also represents something bigger than herself. For many fans, especially LGBTQ+ listeners, she's a symbol of freedom and visibility. Her music doesn't water things down. It doesn't apologize for desire, emotion, or identity. It celebrates them. And that's why her fan base feels more like a community than just an audience. When you watch people sing along at her shows, you can see it. Joy, release, belonging. Isn't that what art is supposed to do at its best? Of course, with rapid success comes pressure. Fame can be overwhelming, and the expectations can be relentless. What's refreshing is that she doesn't pretend to have everything figured out. She talks about mental health, boundaries, and the importance of protecting your sense of self. That honesty invites an important reflection for all of us. How do we chase our dreams without losing ourselves along the way? As her career continues to grow, it's clear that Chappell Roan isn't just chasing hits. She's building a world, one where emotion, identity, creativity, and courage all coexist. And maybe that's why people are so invested. Her journey reminds us that it's okay to evolve, to take up space, to be loud about who you are, and to trust your own timeline. So I'll leave you with this. What does Chappell Roan's story make you think about in your own life? Is it about embracing your identity, trusting your creative instincts, or giving yourself permission to grow at your own pace? I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments and let's talk. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it It truly helps the channel grow. Share it with someone who loves music, pop culture, or stories about people who dare to be different. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this one. Thanks so much for spending your time here with me today. Take care of yourself, keep celebrating what makes you unique, and I'll see you in the next video. Sparkling Heart Musical Notes.